begin shortly. Today's ceremony is an indoor ceremony. Military personnel should stand at attention during the playing of the national anthem and should not salute. We invite our civilian guests to participate by standing and placing their right hand over their heart. We ask that you would silence all electronic devices for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Second Lieutenant Joshua Buston, your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Today, the men and women of the 412th Test Wing pay special tribute to Colonel Jarod P. Blecher for 25 years, 3 months, and 29 days of distinguished active duty military service. The presiding official for today's ceremony is Colonel Ryan N. Bagazan, Commander, 635th Supply Chain Operation Wing. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the posting of the colors by the Blue Eagles Honor Guard, and remain standing for the singing of their national anthem by Colonel Blecher's daughter, Elena, and remain standing for the invocation by Colonel Blecher's brother-in-law, Mr. Paul Barreto.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting
Let us pray. Almighty God, creator of every good, we pause today to thank you for Colonel Jarod Paul Blecher, one of your good gifts to the United States Air Force. We give you thanks not only for those who gathered here, but on behalf of the friends, fellow workers who have served with him over his 25 years of outstanding service to our nation. We thank you, O Lord, for the love of his parents, his family, his friends. We give you thanks and praise for the support of Jarod's loving wife, Lisa, and their children, Diana, Elena, Alex, Alicia, and Mark. O God, under your every care, there is an end and a new beginning. Go with Jarod and his family into their new beginning. Enrich it with the joys and the blessings and the fulfillment that they so richly deserve. You are a great God and worthy of all praise and adorations. I would like those who are familiar with the Lord's Prayer join me in praying the Our Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. God bless each and every one of you, and may God bless America.
Thank you, Paul, Elena, and the Blue Eagles Honor Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce Colonel Blecher's family members and special guests. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Colonel Blecher's wife, Lisa, and their children, Diana, Elena, Alex, Alicia, and Mark. His parents, Mr. John Blecher and Miss Kathy Blecher. His brothers, Corey, Johnny, and Simon Blecher. His nieces, Melanie and Ryan Blecher. Brother-in-law, Mr. Paul Barreto, and his wives, Miss Cami Barreto, and their children, Genevieve, Christina, and Sophia. His friends, the Afflerbaugh, Clossy, and Cook families. And 412th Support Group Honorary Commander and friends, Miss Sandra Avery and Mr. Bart Avery. We would also like to welcome from the 412th Test Wing, Colonel Douglas Wickert, Commander, Chief Master Sergeant Justin Stofus, Command Chief Master Sergeant, accompanied by his wife, Miss Jessica Stofus. And to all the commanders, directors, chiefs, first sergeants, and Colonel Blecher's friends and colleagues in person or online, welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our presiding official, Colonel Ryan N. Bakazan.
Let me hand you this so we don't get your remarks out of place. All right, well, first of all, how about that national anthem? I mean, come on. I mean, between that and the Honor Guard, what a way to start this off. It just completely put us on point. So for those of you that don't know, Elena's also had the opportunity to sing in front of a couple Major League Baseball games. So 2 Detroit Tiger spring training games. And I'm sure why that was awesome, getting the opportunity to honor this ceremony, your family and your father is equally as special. So if you could give her one more huge round of applause. All right, so Jarod, I'm just going to start off with how the heck did we get here, right? You know, I'll ask that on a couple different fronts. Front number one, a couple of screw-ups like us when we met each other as second lieutenants. How did we both get entrusted to wear the rank of colonel and sit here on this stage, one? And two, how fast did that 25 years slip through the hourglass? So, I mean, both questions have answers that are rather scary, and maybe we'll try to answer some of them today. But, Jarod, I'll just say that It's truly humbling. It's also daunting when someone asks you to serve as an officiating officer for a retirement or a promotion, especially for a retirement that culminates 25 years of service. It's a true honor that you and Lisa have given me. So I remember the day when I took that phone call and caller ID Jarod Blecher called, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a great phone call, right? And so I instantly said, just tell me when and where, and I'll be there, and here I am. So Jarod, thank you again for the privilege of being part of your special day for your family. So to Brigadier General Select Wickert, your command team, Chief Stolfoots and wife Jess, thank you, and all the members of the 412th, thank you for being here to honor Jarod and his family. And speaking of Jarod's family, if you look over here, what a contingent that's out in force this morning to join us. Holy cow. So Jarod, what a beautiful family you have, despite your DNA, right? So this is all Lisa and John and Kathy. You clearly skipped a generation, but oh my goodness, Diana, Elena, Alicia, Mark, you are part of your dad's journey for sure. So it's very, very special that you all get to be here to witness the culmination of a truly remarkable journey that was your dad's career. And I know you're rightfully proud of him, as you should be, but I'll just tell you that your dad is more proud of you than you are of him. So thank you for the sacrifice, your service, and standing alongside your father for this journey. To John and Kathy, I cannot imagine how mom and dad are feeling today, right? One, I'm sure you're exceptionally proud of your son, but also likely in awe and in disbelief that you're sitting here watching your son retire after 25 years in the Air Force. I bet it feels like 5 minutes ago you were at the Air Force Academy watching him toss his white wheel cap in the air in a blue Colorado sky with the Thunderbirds roaring overhead, but now here we are 25 years later. So I'll just say thank you for your unflinching support, your continuous cheerleading for Jarod, but more importantly, the shaping and molding that you did as parents, not only when he was growing up, but how that has continued. You have shaped him into the incredible father, brother, man, uncle, husband, and officer that he is today. So without question, he learned from the examples that you set each and every day, and you continue to set. So as you can see, the immediate family aside, you can see he's got a lot of special family and friends that are here today. Brothers, nieces, Lakenheath friends, Lisa's brother and his family, your honorary commander. Oh my goodness. And of course, your second spouse, Mike, is here somewhere, I'm sure. So heard a lot about him yesterday. I think he's probably the saddest person here that Jarod's leaving. But again, I think all in all, over 40 family members and friends have turned out, and I hope you realize and recognize how special that is, especially given the fact that Edwards is not the easiest Air Force base to get to, but Jarod, they have turned out in force. So whether you came here from Texas, Colorado, Florida, Ohio, or right here from California, I just want to thank you on behalf of Team Blecher for coming out in droves to support him and his family. So if my remarks go long and this ceremony goes long, I'm going to blame Jarod because of the incredible family that he's got here today. It took us almost a fortnight to get through all those introductions. But I'll just say, ceremonies like this, moments like this in life, it's like watching a beautiful sunset all alone. It's majestic, but if you don't have your family there with you or your friends there with you, it takes the shine off of it. So thank you, and I'd like to give a round of applause to everybody that made the trip here to Edwards to be here. So I can't control Father Time, but I will hope that today goes a little slow for y'all, the family and friends. Try to hit the Control S button and save some of these memories. And when this ceremony is over, stay as long as you like. Let's make sure we get the pictures right, because you don't get many days like this in this life to celebrate. So today's one of those very special days. All right, so now on to the man of the hour, my good friend Colonel Jarod Blecher. So on milestone days like this, I always like to ask the honoree, like, what's your why statement? What's your purpose for serving? And there's really no wrong answer for that. Why do you decided to join the Air Force? It could be to continue a family tradition of service. And for Jarod, definitely, his father served 28 years and retired as a colonel. It could be for the great benefits. It could be to travel the world. It could be to escape a bad home situation growing up. No matter what the answer is, there's no wrong answer because it all ends in noble service. But for Jarod, his was completely unique. He said, hey, I heard the Air Force has the best golf courses, so that I'm in, right? Well, we're gonna get to caveats, so we'll get there. But honestly, it was Jarod said two things. One, he wanted to serve, and 2, he wanted to play soccer at the collegiate level. So he went all in, applied for the Air Force Academy, got in, and believe it or not, probably don't believe it, but he got straight A's, right, Jared? Sure. Okay. So I'll start with the caveat, maybe I should have began with it, that we're not going to let facts and truths get in the way of a good story for my remarks, his remarks, and everything that's said later on at the brewery. So we'll see how that goes. So because he gets straight A's, what happens at the Air Force Academy when you get straight A's? Of course, you get tracked to be a supply officer, right? So now he's got his career field assignment. So next up is, hey, I got to fill out my base of preference worksheet. Where do I want to go as a supply officer? So Jarod told me of all the bases he had listed, on the very last one on the list was Grand Forks Air Force Base. So what did our Air Force do? Jarod, you're going to Grand Forks. You know, but thankfully he did, for it was that first assignment that turned out to be his most significant and consequential one in his career. So upon graduation from the academy, he's off to his first duty assignment, so he's going to make the trek north to Grand Forks. So he says he's going to stop for an overnight at a family friend's house. I think his name, Rick, right? At Rick's house in Omaha, Nebraska. So why have I woven that tiny little detail into the speech? Well, let's put a bookmark in that. I'm going to come back to that later. Again, we're going to observe the 90% lies and 10% truths as part of the story. So this is where I come into the picture. So I'm assigned to Grand Forks as well, 319th Supply Squadron, and my commander assigns me to be the sponsor for Jarod Blecher. So as his sponsor, my duties include the following: to communicate with him before he shows up, to ensure his lodging is taken care of. I give him a tour of the base. I show him where he's going to work. I introduce him to some of his friends and workmates. So essentially, the role of the sponsor is to make sure he has a smooth and professional transition to his first assignment. So again, why would I list off the official duties of a sponsor? Second bookmark. We're coming back to that in a little bit. So there I was. It's a Sunday in 1999 in August. Yes, we're old. That was the last millennial. But I'm there on base with my wife, Dawn, and we're waiting for Jarod to pull in. And sure enough, on time, on target, like any good supply officer, LRO, he rolls in on time in his green stick shift Honda Accord. We start to make some small talk, do introductions. It's going really well. I think we're going to end up being friends. And I say to him, all right, today's Sunday. Tomorrow I'm going to introduce you to our commander. You're going to meet him for the first time. Make sure you put your service dress on. And when I say that, I see the blood kind of drain out of his face. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, I forgot my service dress in Omaha, Nebraska. I was like, well, I know my commander. You're going to need to be in service dress. So he gets in his car, makes the 7-hour trip back to Rick's house in Omaha to get the service dress. When he gets there, Rick is not there. He's got no way to get in. So what does Jarod do? He somehow manages to avoid a B&E charge, and he makes it all the way back. This is before his safety briefing, obviously. 7 hours there, 7 hours back. And he reports into our new commander, and as he's walking in, of course, I walk into the commander's office, and I'm kind of lingering outside the door to hear how that initial introduction is going to go. And our commander, Major Art Banner, says, why are you in your service dress? BDUs would have been fine. That was true. So right off the bat, I did you wrong, right? But there you go. So how did a second lieutenant who can't remember to bring his uniforms to his first assignment go on to command 2 squadrons, command at the 06 level here at the 412th MSG? So for the younger officers in the crowd, hey, there's hope, and example A is right here. All right, so with that minor hiccup in the mirror, Jarod's off to begin his career that culminates today. And like I mentioned, Grand Forks was our first assignment as supply officers, and what a great first assignment. At the time, it was an AMC wing, 48 tankers there, one of the 3 super tanker wings in AMC. So we had the opportunity to quickly learn what it meant to be a supply officer. More importantly, what a great military community it was for our first landing spot, and the group of CGOs and teammates that we had, would go down in the memory book. So a lot of this is some inside baseball, Jarod, but I hope some of these names bring back either some memories or some shivers. So of course, Major Art Banner, our commander, Mr. Jonley, Mr. Soroki, Nick Dyson, Eric Wozniak, Chad Carter, and of course, the one and only Rob Lyon. So if there's a lull in the conversation at the brewery tonight, just say to Jarod or me, tell me a Rob Lyon story. Trust me, it will not go without a laugh. All right, and then for Lisa, and there was a certain squadron commander that was there, not Major Banner, but one I didn't have the opportunity to work for because I had already left. And despite her first name of Joy, she did not bring a lot of joy to you and Jarod. All right, so our CGO group did an awful lot together. We had Survivor watch dinner parties, backyard barbecues, and we watched football religiously, especially Monday Night Football at the club. So I'll work in a quick Rob Lyons story, 30 seconds. So at the Grand Forks Club, they had a deal. It's $2, you buy your glass of beer, and then it's 25-cent refills. This guy was so cheap, when it came to his turn in the rotation, he was like, well, gotta go. So we had to cover his round from time to time. We also played a lot of golf. We may or may not have flipped a golf cart. So thankfully, the ground safety investigation came back as inconclusive. Or I said we, or someone other than me would be giving these remarks here right now. So we also did our master's programs together as CGOs. Like 4 of us rolled into the Harvard of the Midwest, also known as Central Michigan University, Satellite Campus, Grand Forks. Go Chippewas. But my gosh, we had such a great time there together, Jarod. It was because of the mission, the community, the friends that made it such a special assignment. But for you, there was another reason why it was your most consequential assignment. And as his time was winding down in Grand Forks and before heading off to his second assignment of Massawa, he had the opportunity now to serve as a sponsor and to an incoming officer. And she just so happens to be the beautiful woman here sitting in the front row, his now wife of 20 plus years of marriage, so Lisa Blecher. So earlier I rattled off the official duties of Air Force sponsorship, and I do not remember hearing courtship, marriage, and children on that list, but as would be the mark of Jarod's career, as you can see, anything he's tasked to do, he goes above and beyond. So if there was a sponsor of the year, this guy would have been a dead cent for it. But the best part of the story is, so now he's going off to Massawa, about to get on the airplane, and at the time, Lisa, who outranks him, and she still does today, obviously, says to Jarod, hey, just so you know, buddy, you're not allowed to be a sponsor ever again. And I could see her saying that, too. All right, so I realize we're several minutes into this, and we're at only his first assignment. So I gotta pick up the pace, and I promise to do that because we got some celebrating when this is over. So Jarod gets to Massawa, continues the relationship from afar with Lisa, and they make it official in August of 2003 with a wedding. So Jarod, had you not gotten your last choice of assignments, obviously this would not be possible today. So you talk about God having a plan, right? In Proverbs 19:21, King Solomon wrote, many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. And thankfully, the Lord's purpose prevailed here. So following Massawa, Jarod continues to grow his LRO and mobility skills. He has assignments to the 62nd LRS and 62nd Aerial Port Squadron at McChord in Washington, and then an assignment to Transcom at Scott Air Force Base before having the opportunity to go to in-residence IDE at Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama. But then he had 2 amazing opportunities where he got to command at the squadron level back-to-back, first at Lakenheath in the United Kingdom and at the Superport in Dover. And these are 2 monster commands as LROs, and we don't put just anyone there. These are 2 of our crown jewel squadrons. So Jarod, your selection to command both of those units speaks to the caliber of officer that you are. All right, so now following command, unfortunately, now it's time for a short tour, and that's one of the goodbyes that he has to say to his family. So it's off to Sotacana Air Base in Honduras, and there he had the opportunity, following a devastating hurricane in Haiti, he moved 9 helicopters, the maintenance package that goes with it, all in all, to deliver 415,000 pounds of aid to 500,000 people that were in desperate need of it. But as important as that was, just as importantly, he got to up his cigar smoking game in Honduras. So the things we do for our country, right? You're welcome, America. All right, so then he goes to a data mass job that we can't talk about, and then later on, then after that, it's off to Hurlburt, where he had the chance to serve as the Senior Logistics Readiness Officer for that major command, where he helped shape our career field for the next decade and the generation of LROs that are left behind us, or that are coming behind us. And that brings us now here to Edwards and his selection to serve as commander now for the 3rd time, this time at the 06 Group Command level at the mighty 412th MSG. And what a capstone assignment this has been, Jarod, for you, to cap off a 25-year in the Air Force. So as the 412th MSG commander, Jarod's team is responsible to support consequential and daunting mission sets. The men and women of the 412th MSG deliver combat and test-enabling mission support to over 11,000 personnel assigned to Edwards Air Force Base, the 412th Test Wing, the Air Force Research Laboratory, NASA's Flight Research Facility, and over 50 associate units on an installation that spans 308,000 acres. So that's almost 481 miles. So just think about this. We give the responsibility of managing almost 500 square miles to the dude that can't remember his uniforms on day one. So you're going to have lasting impact not only across the Air Force, but here specifically at Edwards. And I know we're going to hear more about it in your Legion of Merit. We're going to hear more about it at your change of command ceremony next week. But just a quick few I pulled off the highlight reel. It was Jarod's peer leadership that pulled together 5 agencies to create the base's first school resource officer program. And because of his efforts, local on-base schools now possess law enforcement presence while providing security and role models for 1,400 students that attend school here on Edwards. He also led the Wings effort on a very heavy lift for Edwards' first open house and air show in 13 years that opened the base to 120,000 attendees and 23,000 STEM students. Additionally, he championed one of the Wing's top priorities to get after the CDC hiring and recruiting plan, increasing provider manning by 44% in only 4 months and increasing retention by 39%. And finally, through his exceptional relationship building, he teamed with the AAFES leadership to improve quality of life on Edwards, and the base now possesses a variety of eating establishments and the plan to install Amazon delivery lockers. So as I stated, Jarod, lasting impacts. So typically at retirement ceremonies, the officiating officer will go back and call through the record and pull out some quotes. But I thought what I heard yesterday was more important than what I read on all of your OPRs and OPBs. So you can pull anything you want off of records. But at his going away social, time and time again, every individual that stood up mentioned what a humble leader he was, how he cloaked himself in humility, how genuine he was, how much he cared, how much he listened, how well he took care of his airmen. Said another way, he is the poster image and definition of a servant leader. So Jarod, that's what I'll look back at your career the most, is your servant leadership and how much you cared about the mission, and more importantly, how you empowered and took care of your airmen to make sure that that mission got done. So Jarod, you are going out on top. Your commander's pin's above your name tag, and you're retiring with a job that comes with a guide on. And we all know the best jobs in the Air Force come with a guide on. So I wanted to share that short recap of Jarod's assignments, not just for a walk down memory lane, but to highlight the sacrifice of service that went alongside that from his family for this last quarter century. So all in all, 11 assignments, 3 deployments, a short tour, countless TDYs, and innumerable late nights. And that extracts a lot of understanding, a lot of support, a lot of sacrifice. So I want to thank Diana, Elena, Alex, Alicia, Mark, and of course Mama Bear Lisa for providing Jarod with the love, the support, and the encouragement that he needed to do the job that needed to be done for our nation. So I want to publicly thank you for your countless and significant sacrifices that you have given. So if you guys have clapped loud once already, make this the loudest clap of the day for Team Blecher and their support. All right, Lisa, so no more deployments, no more TDYs, no more PCSs, no more split ops, 2-house life, and no more 3-hour time differences. So today is the day the Air Force hands him back to you and your family. And since you're an LRO for life, I want to make sure that we have the chain of custody preserved so we don't have to do a reverse post, adjust the M10, or fail an audit. So what I have for you is your official Air Force Form 1297, your signature and hand receipt document, and it reads, issued to Lisa Blecher, quantity of 1, unit of issue 1, issue date of 12 July 2024, description of item, an amazing husband, father, and officer in the United States Air Force. So whether you want full-time custody or not, He's coming back to you. So I'm going to break protocol and leave the stage here. So Jarod, one hell of a career, my friend. You have so much to be very, very proud of. But more importantly, your signature line is always cheers. So cheers to your future, for that is what matters. And as a wise chief once told me, he said, only fools sit around and talk about the good old days. These are the good old days. Today and tomorrow what matter. You and Lisa and the entire Blecher clan have so much happiness and joy in front of you. So here's hoping that you have a lot of rapid cooler lid flips in front of you, inside joke, and I hope I can be there for a few of them. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, Colonel Bakazan. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the Legion of Merit, followed by the reading of the retirement order.
Publish the order.
Attention to order. This is to certify that the President of the United States, authorized by the Act of Congress 20 July 1942, has awarded the Legion of Merit to Colonel Jarod P. Blecher, United States Air Force. Colonel Jarod P. Blecher distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service in the United States as Commander, 412th Mission Support Group, 412th Test Wing, Edwards Air Force Base, California, from 30 June 2022 to 30 September 2024. Colonel Blecher led 1,082 military, civilian, and contractor personnel supporting the Air Force's most diverse test wing to assist great power competition initiatives, including the KC-46, F-35, F-22, B-21, T-7, and multiple hypersonic weapon systems. His pivotal leadership enabled a $20 million temporary living expense from the Office of the Secretary of Defense, alleviating hardship for 4,500 joint service members. Additionally, Colonel Blecher outpaced 7 installations in the testing of the Air Force new evaluation processing system, triggering the Air Force Personnel Center pause for research and development by identifying 8 system defects, which ultimately resolved 34 pre-launch issues for the headquarters, Air Force Beta Team, expediting delivery of Air Force-wide evaluation process to 322,000 service members. Finally, Colonel Blecher oversaw an artificial intelligence capability which scanned over 100,000 malicious data transactions, reducing cyber defense office workload by 16,750 hours, and earning the 2024 Vern Orr Award nomination. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Blecher culminate a long and distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Attention to order. Special order number Alpha Lima 000872, dated 29 September 2023. Colonel Jarod P. Blecher is relieved from active duty. 412 Test Wing, Edwards Air Force Base, California. Retired effective 1 October 2024, per Air Force Instruction 36-3203, in the grade of Colonel, by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Bakazan will now present the retirement certificate to Colonel Blecher. It reads, "To all who shall see present, greeting. This is to certify that Colonel Jarod P. Blecher, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the 1st of October, 2024. At this time, I would like to invite Miss Lisa Blecher to the stage. Miss Lisa Blecher will now place the retirement pin on Colonel Blecher. We would now like to take a moment to present Miss Blecher with a certificate of appreciation for her unwavering commitment and support to her husband. At this time, I would like to invite Colonel Blecher's children to the stage to be recognized for their dedication and sacrifice. No worries. Okay. Today, Diana, Elena, Alex, Alicia, and Mark are being presented with certificates in recognition of their sacrifice and support of their father's service to the United States Air Force. They read, "In grateful appreciation to the United States Air Force, presents these certificates of recognition to Diana, Elena, Alex, Alicia, and Mark Blecher for their commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for your support, which gave and purpose to your father's service, given this 12th of July, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, The Edwards Air Force Base Blue Eagles Honor Guard will now conduct a flag folding ceremony. Please welcome Technical Sergeant Derek Day, non-commissioned officer in charge, Blue Eagles Honor Guard, to the stage.
For nearly 250 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence. And blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally, a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force and Space Force satellites that circle our globe, and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every American who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our United States Air Force, nor on the flag that we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to persevering the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom, at home and abroad, and to their loved ones. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and to all. Long may she wave.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Colonel Jarod P. Blecher, United States Air Force, retired.
Where's T?
Well, we've already said it, but Elena, I am obviously a little bit biased. But even if you take out that and the calculation, you really crushed it. So one more. Paul, thank you for that wonderful invocation and those very, very thoughtful words. Thanks. To everyone, thank you for being here. I am humbled. Thank you, Colonel Wickert, Chief Stoltz. I don't think I see Dano. I see Mike Selos, T-Pain, Joel, AB. Thank you for being here. All commanders, directors, shirts, chiefs. There's Ryan. Thank you. It really means the world to me, specifically for your presence and leadership as we continue to test tomorrow's technology today. Ryan, I forewarned a few people about you. And to brace themselves, and you did not disappoint. Thank you. Thanks for flying out here only a few days before your change command next week. Thanks for being a great sponsor 25 years ago, despite that, right? I know you retire next year after a truly very successful career, having commanded our only supply chain operations wing. Well done, congrats, and Godspeed to you. I look forward to attending your retirement next year. Dawn, if you're watching, I wish you could have made it, but it would have been like old times 25 years ago at Grand Forks, but I can't wait to see you sometime in the future. Lieutenant Buston, shirt, honor guard. I talked honor guard before because they always take off before the remarks. The club staff, Sergeant GC, all the escorts, public affairs, obviously, for getting this broadcasted and taking pictures, Chloe. We all know ceremonies like this take hundreds of hours combined to prepare and execute them. Thanks so much for stepping up. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of you from the Aerospace and Antelope Valley for attending. My dear Bravery family, thanks for being here. My Sunday golfing friends, Andy and Dan, and Miranda and Janice. Yep, thank you. We just met, so that was my sanity for everyone that you don't know is going out on the golf course without the family, going on that green patch and just hitting this little ball, whether it was white or green or orange or whatever. But I truly had a lot of fun with you two gents out there, so thanks for making it fun. And all of those who may be a part of the Honorary Commander Program and any others that I may have missed from downtown, thanks for being here. I want to also publicly thank the numerous senior NCOs in my career who molded me into the officer and leader I am today. There are way too many to name, and they are from every base that I've been stationed at. You are all truly instrumental in my career. Latching on to a senior NCO for you young CGOs as a young CGO right now, and even an FGO, it's not a cliche. You are the backbone of the United States Air Force, the senior NCO Corps. Ryan already said it, my public math's correct, 11 active duty assignments, 3 deployments, and actually another 8 as an Air Force brat. Through all of those, I met some amazing Americans and professionals who led as senior enlisted NCOs. All of them taught me so much about leadership, professionalism, integrity, and what it is to be an airman and a service member in our wonderful military services that we have. To me, this ceremony is a reminder of why our profession of arms is so special, and why I urge all retiring members to have a ceremony even when their wishes state otherwise. Believe me, it's amazing the number of airmen that do not want one, and you got to convince them of that. I believe this is what sets airmen apart from other occupations. We are part of a profession with shared values and beliefs, standards and customs based on our core values. Cherish them and live by them. Again, I'm humbled and will have memories of our traditions forever to include today. Thank you to everyone for being a part of this tradition again. Retirement speeches often offer wisdom or advice to those in the audience, so here's some of mine. One of the more difficult lessons I learned that it's not a popularity contest. Leadership is not. Colin Powell stated, trying to get everyone to like you is a sign of mediocrity, which also means you don't avoid tough decisions. Furthermore, good leaders do not want a yes person, because when those around you offer different perspectives, it often yields a different decision, or at least makes you think in a different way, and it makes you pause for sure, especially when you utilize your 2 ears and only one mouth. I saw a video of a college basketball coach talking to her players and describing how they need to handle hard better. From the first time I listened to it, it resonated with me in so many ways. So let me paraphrase a bit from her story. It was only a few minutes. She described how we wait in life for things to get easier or handed to us. She described how we wait, and then we say things like, I just need to get through this, such as my assignment at Edwards, and life will be easier. I just need to get through the diaper phase and potty training. It doesn't get easier after that. It will never get easier. You handle hard better. Many think life will get easier. Rather, you simply become someone who handles hard better. Because life is hard sometimes. And once you start handling things easier, the second that happens, what do you think's going to happen? We're going to make it harder. So make yourself a person who handles hard well, and not waiting for life or the Air Force to get easier. Maybe you think life will be easier after senior airman below the zone results, or a promotion from NH2 to 3, or any other meaningful pursuit in life. If you want to be successful, it goes to those who handle hard better. They are the ones who succeed. So don't wait around for the easy bus at the bus stop. It never pulls in. Handle hard well, and whatever comes at you, you will conquer. What a ride it has been. Believe it or not, I can't think of a better place to retire out of with the history this space offers. And some of my family members got to see some of it the last few days. For those that know me a little bit better than others, you know I had to at least allude to the legendary AFC Richmond football coach when he said, taking on a challenge is a lot like riding a horse. If you're comfortable while you're doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. I challenge all of you to get out of your comfort zone, get to know airmen outside your units, better understand the test mission here at Edwards or wherever you're at, and never stop learning and embrace challenges at every step of your career. What a sight it is when you look into the crowd and I see 3 families who we served with at Lakenheath almost 10 years ago now. So joining us from Ohio and California and Texas, like Ryan mentioned. Thank you, Clossies, Afflerballs, and Cooks for making the trip to Edwards. It's so great to see you, and Lisa and I are absolutely ecstatic that you're here, so thank you. Mike, yeah, he's in the back. I would say I really thought coming out here by myself that I would keep my sanity for 2 years while living in an empty house by myself. I would just dive deep into my work on my golf game like I mentioned. Thanks for everything the last 17 or 18 months. And I'm talking about you now because you're not going to be here on Monday. But our serious talks about leadership were amazing and so much more, but just really thank you for your friendship. I will miss a whole host of things in our United States Air Force. Most importantly, the airmen that fuel our noble mission of safeguarding the American public, and most importantly now deterrence against the PRC. It has been a truly amazing 2 years at Edwards, but here soon, I don't have to miss my family. Paul, Cammie, thanks for making it too, and your crew. And then to Ed and Sherry out there, thanks for starting out my career. A wonderful way in being my sponsor as a cadet. So wanted to give a shout out to you. To my mom and dad, thank you for the love you showed each other while we were growing up and being involved in what was that? Yeah. And being involved in so many of our activities, from team mom and coach and presumably PTO and PTOs that I don't even remember, and simply just being our cheerleader in the stands, and for the numerous taxi rides, and Lisa and I know all about that right now, to and from thousands of matches between t-ball, baseball, basketball, wrestling, floor hockey, and obviously mostly soccer. And all the fabulous meals, even the ones that had onions in it now, that I used to pick out all the onions when I was a kid, but I eat them now. We Blecher brothers are all contributing members to our society because of you both. I love you. To my bros, the Blecher brothers. We may not talk every day or week, but when we get together, we always have a fantastic time. Even if I'm the one that goes to bed early, and you guys are staying up till 2 or 3 or 4, and I'm the one that wakes up in the first part of the morning. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. It means the world to me. I just wish all your wives and all of the nieces and nephews could have joined us, but at least you're here, so thanks for representing. Thanks, Jack, Melanie, and Ryan for being here. Diana, our oldest, I'm beyond proud to see the independent young woman you become. And although I knew that from the moment that you put me on that stinking big wheel, you remember that you were very insistent. Quick aside from my actual notes. She told me to get on the big wheel. I'm like, I can't fit. And she looked at me and she said, Jarod, get on the big wheel. I said, no, I can't fit. She said, Jarod, get on the big wheel. So I got on the big wheel. You are diligent, passionate, and focused as you continue to seek advanced opportunities at the news station. Remain perseverant and hungry for increased knowledge and experience. I love you. Elena, our newest high school graduate, congratulations again. I'm so proud of you in that you already know what you want to be, an early childhood educator, a noble and worthy cause for our nation's future, and with your nurturing nature and patience, as you portray with some of your younger siblings most days, you will be a great teacher, and for your perseverance through so many challenging medical hurdles. I love you. The A-team. Alex, at this time, our only potential future airman that I'm aware of. Stop growing flirt first, please. Don't smirk. Second, maintain your passion for history, because as we all know, if you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. Stay focused these last 2 years in high school on your grades. Stay focused, especially with as smart as I know you are, and maintain that passion for the world sport, soccer. I look forward to seeing many more towering headers over your opponents because it just makes me grin every time. I love you. Alicia, no doubt your quick wits, charm, intelligence, and intimidating spirit will take you far. You better also stay focused these last 2 years in high school on your grades. Stay focused. As well as your determination on the pitch to outwit the other team and doggedly challenge for that ball. It does not go unnoticed by all those who watch on the stands. Trust me, I love the comments that I hear when you're getting into a challenge and you're getting stuck in and the comments they make about you. I love you. Mark, whew, our youngest. You devour books and you love to bake, not to mention your quick wit as well when you counter your brother and sisters with some great comebacks. You certainly soaked up a ton of knowledge from your older siblings. What a future you have. Your mom and I can't wait to see what you would like to become. Maybe it'll stay a baker, possibly end up here at Edwards as a test engineer, maybe a nuclear scientist somewhere else, I don't know. Maybe even a supply chain expert. Right, Ryan? You never know. Love you. Maintain your passion for reading and solving riddles and doing the mind trap game. I love watching you when you do that. To all 5 of you, your mom and I are beyond proud of you. A little advice, if I may quote Abraham Lincoln. If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening the axe. Remember that preparation fuels success. I love you all so much. Little did I know when I chose supply as my career field and received my assignment to Grand Forks, North Dakota, which really didn't make me all that happy to start out my career. Little did I know that I would not only meet Ryan and become friends for life, but to Ryan's point, I would meet my wife, albeit 2 months prior to moving from Grand Forks to Massawa. Lisa, you sent me a video a while back. Yes, I listened to pretty much every single one of them that you sent me, and there were like 6 a day sometimes. The video was about when a man and a woman get together, they are unstoppable. Look at what we've accomplished. Look at our beautiful family of our 5 kids. You have an upstart business, taking remarkable and unforgettable pictures of families, of bustling shopping centers, and even professional soccer games and football at the height of their game. It most certainly was a difficult decision when we decided for me to come out here and geobatch for 2 years in the aerospace valley. And you would be mom and dad to our kids for 2 years. There were plenty of days based on that 3-hour difference, we didn't even get a chance to talk. Sometimes it was just a text. But you are without a doubt the foundation of our family. What a faithful day it was when you arrived at Grand Forks Air Force Base and you called your sponsor and woke me up after 11 p.m. to welcome you to the base because you were supposed to be there earlier. Yeah. And so it began. I love you, darling, and you are more beautiful today than you were when we married. So that's a fact. I love you. Thanks again for everyone being here. If I forgot someone, I apologize, but it's been a great ride. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Blecher. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the Air Force song and departure of the official party. We ask that you allow the official party a moment to rejoin their families and depart from the auditorium before you exiting your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of the Colonel Blecher and his family, thank you for attending and have a wonderful Friday morning.